Hey everyone, Andang here for some more Lord of the Rings Online. It's once again that time we make our way back into LOTRO, and today is the launch day for Update 30, The Blood of Azog. And so of course, we are indeed in LOTRO. Now, you might have noticed, there's still a payment thing here. We don't own this content yet.
Though I have tried to convince him otherwise, Prince Durin blames himself for the setback at the gates of Mount Gundabad.
And if we take a look here at how ridiculously expensive this is, it's 1695 LOTRO points, but we only have 630. You might be like, "Hey, Andang, what's the problem? Why can't we make this happen?" Well, Steam might have locked me out of my own account, so we're working on getting that resolved. And hopefully that will be taken care of very shortly. It's our goal. Worst thing comes to worst, we go VIP for a month. There we go, we got Blood of Azog. That was incredibly frustrating, but hey, we finally did it. And we're good to go. What is all this nonsense? There we go. We do want to keep that on there because it's for us to complete missions. Anyway, let's go ahead and finally hop in to Blood of Azog. Well, see, Mistweaver, the problem wasn't that I forgot it, it's that I tried to log in too many times. Because I forgot it.
Though
Anyway,
I
here we
have
go.
tried to convince him otherwise, Prince Durin blames himself for the setback at the gates of Mount Gundabad.
Corcus Luck, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome, welcome. It is recommended but not required that you complete the Legacy of Durin and the Trials of the Dwarves, chapters 1 through 4, before playing Blood of Azog. It is good to see you again, Andang. This is not the manner of reunion I would have preferred, but I'm afraid it could not be helped. Though I have tried to convince him otherwise, Prince Durin blames himself for the setback at the gates of Mount Gundabad. He considers it a defeat, a failure, and perhaps most of all a rebuke to his worthiness of the name Durin. Even though that is not so, I fear he believes that vengeance might be his only path to redemption in the eyes of the Longbeards. Prince Durin has heard many tales of the deeds of his grandfather, but neither he nor even King Thorin know him as I do. In my youth, I learned the cost of vengeance firsthand. I was at Azanulbizar. I know well the price that was paid to see Azog's head set upon the pike. It is true that Gorgar and Hirmil await us beyond the gates of Mount Gundabad, but within the mountain home, the advantage belongs to them. If we are to win this war and reclaim the sacred mountain, our soldiers must be given the time to tend to their wounds and prepare for the battles ahead, so the LOTRO developers can build the area. Let us help Prince Durin to lead Gabalaka to victory, my friend. That is all I ask. New quest Interlude, Blood of Azog.
I believe Prince Durin intends to send word to Nain at Sarkosulun. But it so happens that there are dwarves of the Harum Obnar in his garrison.
How's he do that? Harum. Before this war began, King Thorin sent 3 elder warriors to aid his son. Agnar Brokentooth, Lagai Helmbiter, and Rethvald Red Ember. They are dwarves of the Karum Abnar, the Brethren of Survivors. It is an order little known outside the line of Durin's folk, but its members hold a place of high esteem in the eyes of King Thorin, and more importantly, those of his brother Nine. I would wager there is little that might temper his fervor for battle, as much as the word of one of the Karum Abnar, let alone 3 of them. I believe Prince Thorin intends to send word to Zakul Solon that his uncle might be apprised of a plan to reclaim Mount Gundabad. It so happens that Agnar, Lagi, and Rathwald are among his garrison. Need I explain myself further, Andang? You've done quests before in LOTRO. This must be done delicately, that the prince is not undermined in the eyes of the Gabalaka. You are a trusted friend, Andang, and I am certain the prince would send you on this errand should you ask. Right, and is this a new
grant
mission?
You the rank of Dumul within the Kabila Ka, the unified army of dwarves.
You have helped us tremendously, but this war is far from over. It is time to hit them where it really hurts, the supply lines. Alright, I don't know if this is part of the new stuff or the old stuff.
Let us hope the guidance of the Karum Obnar is enough.
But I just accepted a thing. Yeah, I think it's not as well. I know that that's definitely old stuff. That's all definitely old stuff, I believe. Oh, I guess we got something to turn in.
Glowin has charged us with a pressing task.
Oh. There you are, Andang. Commander Glowin has charged us with a pressing task. My scouts have discovered a secret tunnel in the Misty Mountains, connecting Goblin Town to Gundabad. We believe they are using it to move supplies into Gundabad, to prepare it for a siege. If they still believe we do not know of these supply trains, they might not be heavily guarded. This is the time to strike. We must move out if you are ready, but do not take too long, or we might miss the opportunity. I don't know why I'm reading it like that, but there you go, chat. There you go. Deep in the Misty Mountains, the orcs and goblins use a secret tunnel to move supplies between Goblin Town and Gundabad. Your mission is to stop the supply trains in secret tunnels before Goblin Town and between Goblin Town and Gundabad. It's an old one. Well, we're doing it anyway. Oh yeah, apparently there's a summoning horn. We should probably need to pick that up. Just maybe. Oh hey, look, a quest giver.
This is surely the right tunnel. The goblins must have dug into this old Longbeard mine and found it leads straight to Gundabad.
We're lucky we didn't have to walk the whole way. Now that we have found the supply train, it is time to do some damage. These fools, they thought we would not notice them moving supplies underground, and did not assign many guards to protect the caravan. But we are dwarves. We are just at home under the mountains as they are. They will regret their mistake. We need to find the foreman in charge here and defeat him. I assume he will be near the front. Here, take these. She pulls out a satchel and hands it to you. Asuma grins mischievously as you peer inside to see a number of small explosives. When in doubt, C4. I might have learned a few tricks during my time in Mordor. One of those should be enough to take out each of these carts. Destroy the supplies as we move. If we succeed here, we might be able to prevent the supplying of Gundabad for weeks. Let us move. C4! Let's go. Oh dang, we're throwing a bomb. That doesn't happen every day in LOTRO. Alright. Oh, we got 18 of these? Come on. 18? There's so many goblins. Oh, there's more supply carts over here. Supply carts for days. How far can we throw that? Apparently that far. There we go, there we go. This definitely feels like a Mission Impossible kind of mission. I like it. I wish there was less things to destroy, but it's still pretty cool. Generally a good idea not to throw explosives right in front of your face, right? Oh. Guess Mistweaver got it. Alright. There we go, there we go. There we go, 10 out of 18, over halfway. This is really a labyrinth down here. We've gone up and down. I'm not sure exactly where we are. Just let me throw my bombs in peace, Orc. We double bombed that one. There we go, 14 out of 18. Now we're going, wait, I feel like this is just the other path and we kind of took a wrong turn somewhere. Here we go, here we go. That cat does not have any idea what to do. Just 2 more carts to explode. And we're good to go. So we just need to go this way. There we go, 17 out of 18.
What is happening up there? Why aren't the supplies moving? If you laggards are sleeping on the job, I swear!
Oh boy. Now we gotta defeat the foreman.
Intruders! Make yourself useful, orcs, or I'm telling Gorgar this is all your fault!
Oh no, he's telling Mom. There we go, there we go.
Look what they've done to this place. Damn filthy orcs.
I have an idea. We can destroy this foul defacement of a dwarf art and remove this tunnel as a supply route to Gundabad all at once. You should probably stand back. Oh boy.
Let's put this poor dwarf door out of its misery.
Oh dang.
Couple more over here should do it. You should really back up.
Oh boy. If a dwarf tells you to back up.
A couple more here to collapse the other side.
Oh my gosh.
We should be safe over here. Wait for it. Boom! They won't be digging through that anytime soon.
Alright, that was a pretty
Well done.
big explosion.
Now,
I was
let's
expecting
get
a
out
little
of
bit
this
more, but
stinking goblin tunnel. Why don't we have a drink when we get back?
that was pretty cool. Alright.
Well done! Let us return to Anakurfu.
Be quiet, goats. Oh my gosh.
I saw you speaking with Glowin. All is well, I hope?
Shapers, creepers, there's a shape over there.
Who did that? Who did that? Yicky? Yicky, so help me. What's up, Yicky? Nice to have you here, buddy. We're having fun just getting started in Blood of Azog, the newest update for the Lord of the Rings Online. Ah, Andang. It is good to see you again, my friend. For my part, I have not sat idle since the battle at the gates of Mount Gundabad. After the death of Ram Molor, Gorgar fled in fear of Gabalaka. And yes, I am quite aware that Hymil Frostheart may have influenced his actions. But it was a victory nonetheless. After so much hardship, a mere wall of ice cannot keep me from my prize. I saw you speaking with Glowin. All is well, I hope. You tell Durin that Glowin told you of a new plan to reclaim the mountain home, and your request that you might be the one to bring word of it to Nine. Good job, Yicky. You might have had to pay off people to applaud your efforts, but good job. Indeed, it is my belief that we should breach the ice of the morrow and hunt down Gorgar within the halls of Gundabad. Dwarves are hardier than orcs, after all, and if we grant our enemies too much rest, all of our efforts in this war would be for naught. We are so near to victory, My friend, we mustn't let up now. As for your request, it is granted. Deliver word of my plans to Nine, and see if he finds it to his liking. So, I told one of my coworkers about what is going on in LOTRO right now, about how there's a war between orcs and dwarves. And he literally was like, oh, you mean like the super short people? Like, how are the super short people going to be able to beat the orcs? And I was like, oh my goodness. First of all, that's incredibly offensive to dwarves. Second of all, read the books. Just go read the books. You'll understand. And he's like, well, I hope the orcs win. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. He's like, because dwarves are annoying, man, right? Because he was thinking of like classical fantasy dwarves, or like, you know, like, I don't even know, like Keebler dwarves, even though those are elves. You know, I don't know what he was thinking.
We have surely set the orcs back weeks in their efforts to prepare Gundabad for a long siege.
You do fine work, Andang. We have surely set the orcs back weeks in their efforts to prepare Gundabad for a long siege. You should inform Commander Glowin of our success.
The orcs will sorely miss those supplies, but we must keep up
But
the
this
pressure to prevent
is
Gorgon
classical
from gaining the
fantasy.
upper hand.
Hey mods, let's get on that. Get on that, mods. There's at least 2 of you here. There we go. There's 1 at least. Shire was taken. What is up? Nice to have you here. There we go. You inform Glowin of the destroyed supply train and blocked tunnel. Good to hear. Though I am not surprised. I assigned this important mission to you because I knew you would succeed. The orcs will surely miss those supplies. But we must keep up the pressure to prevent Gorgar from gaining the upper hand. Something about this troubles me, however. It was my understanding that Gundabad lost control of Goblin Town with the death of the hobgoblin warlord Sharnach. Does that mean a new great goblin has come to power, and he has opened diplomatic channels with Gorgar? I will send some scouts to look into the matter. Meanwhile, keep up the fight. The war is far from over. Star battle. So that's for the other missions. Alright. Cool. Okay, we are just 1 mission of Elder Slate away from finishing this off. I kind of want to go ahead and do that, and then we'll continue on with the Interlude Blood of Azog. Let's go ahead and do that real fast here. The final mission of War of the Three Peaks that we're ever going to do, hopefully. Hopefully. Goblins for Gorgar. Where the crap did you guys from? I'll let you solo this one, alright. Good deal, good deal. Why are you doing the missions, by the way? To get virtue experience, because this quest will give us 2,000 virtue experience, which is enough to level up one of our virtues before we continue on to the next area. And we're only one away, so I decided might as well go ahead and get it done. When in doubt, just let the bleeds kill him. And yes, the virtue cap did increase again. It's now level 75 instead of the former 74, I believe. Pretty sure it was a 74. We didn't have any at 74 anyway, so it didn't really matter. But hey, that's because we're leveling up wit from the ground level, and it's a very slow process. Buy some ally scrolls, alright. Buy your scrolls, you buy your scrolls. That powder actually does some decent damage. My lag. Here we go. All right, boss man. Clobber time. Heal time. There we go, there we go. You're still updating Fahrenheit? Wow. Update your client in the basement? Oh my gosh, dude. There we go. Deed completed. There's another one. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess if you did enough missions every day, you could actually get a decent amount of virtue XP. But we definitely are not going to be doing that right now. Let's go ahead and get out of those. Alright, so now we need to travel to Zala Salon in War of the Three Peaks, which I guess is the after-battle version. Yeah, the virtue cap rose to 75. There's 10 of those ranks. Oh my gosh, Brock Tree. Welcome, welcome, by the way. I don't think you've ever posted here. Welcome, nice to have you here. You bought 55 scrolls? Why? Why? Alright, let's check our inventory. Oh yeah, we already emptied it out recently. We're good. Let's go ahead and lock those, just so we make sure we don't get rid of those accidentally. And let's make our way on out. To bigger and better things. I forgot all about the Raven quest. That quest was so annoying. Alright, let's see here. How do I get to after battle version of this map? I totally don't remember. I know we can take the stable, I believe. War of the Three Peaks. Banner by Durin inside. Up by Durin. But we might be going totally the wrong way then. We'll see what happens here. think this is the right way. Yeah, there we go. Although the din of war can be heard in the distance, Zaluk Salon is quiet.
Yes?
No idea if this is a new one either. The road to Khazad-dûm has been claimed for one of the Gabluka Andang, but a great battle awaits us before Gundabad. Nine the Shakeless, Lord of the Iron Hills, has set out with a great company and sent word that all able warriors are to muster to the battle at Azanulbizar. It's the Lord Nine's mission to overcome Gorgar's garrison at Bogod Makem and win the final foothold for Gundabad outside the gates of Mount Gundabad. The warfare remains contested before the Gabalaka and Gorgar's forces of Gundabad, so all who wish to answer the call are to report to Lord Nine at Dreghol. Be certain that you are not followed. That is all I have been told. Will you answer the call to arms? Sure.
It is a sound plan to my ear, but it was not on a mere whim that my brother sent 3 of the Karum Ubnar to aid the prince. Let us hear what they have to say.
How fares my nephew at Anak Karfu Andang? You exchange welcomes with Nine, and then tell him of Prince Durin's plans to proclaim Gundabad. After a moment, you ask Nine what the Karum Ubnar in his garrison might make of it. Shire was taken, thanks so much for the follow. Welcome, welcome, Queen, nice to have you here. Pass out for another 2 hours? Oh, man. Well, welcome, welcome. We're just getting started in Blood of Azog here. Nice to have you here. It was a sound plan to my ear, but my eagerness for battle is well known. I would not have even wait for the morrow, were I a younger dwarf. Nine pauses. It may be that Thorin was not as well suited to battle as I am, but he is keen in judgment. It was not by a mere whim that my brother sent 3 of the Karum Ubnar to aid the prince. Beyond those 3 warriors, none of the Longbeards in the Gabalaka, even Old Glowin, have seen so much battle and its costs. I will honor your request, if you would honor one of my own. I have seen Gorgar's ilk, all manner of evil beasts, and even some of those wicked men of Angmar, drawing nearer to Zarkul Solon since the battle at the gates. And I would not have them doubt our mettle. Slay them to the last. Let us see how the Karag Ubnar judge Durin's plan, Andang. Just maxed out your first stager. Nice. Congratulations. Talk to Nine, the Sickles at Dragal, but Nine's right here! He's right here. Alright, defeat enemies in War of the Three Peaks. Talk to Agnar, Lagag, and Ragvig. Radshak, Meshach, and Abednego. Alright, here we go. So gotta find coffee. The Queen shall return. Long live the Queen. Alright, we've got our work cut out for us. Sometimes horses still gallop when they jump.
I am as eager as Prince Durin to return to Gundabad, but it is a difficult prize to grasp, and I should know.
What does Lord Nine ask of me? You tell Agnar about Prince Durin's plan to reclaim Mount Gundabad, and ask what he thinks of it. We did what we could to hinder Gorgar and his army of orcs on the field. But these old bones are not as strong as they were when I was a younger dwarf. I am as eager as Prince Durin to return to Gundabad, but it is a difficult prize to grasp, and I should know. After all, I was there when Cormog, son of Azog, fell broken in its halls, and I remember how it fell just as quickly back to the hands of the orcs after the war. Do not misunderstand me, Andang. I think much better of our chances this time, but I would not press the attack until we are better prepared for what awaits us within. I have a broken tooth. That is my name. Cup of tea and crumpets. Here for the queen. Alright, the next dwarf should be right here. Ratchy? Right here.
I have seen enough of battle to know the signs of fatigue, even if these dwarves are too proud to admit it.
Lord Nine has sent you. I have much to report, Andang. Some good and some for ill. Of the good, our defenses have held against the orcs, and their numbers have dwindled since our encounter at the gates of Gundabad. Those few that make their way to our line are unorganized, and easy prey for the Zelruka. In the past several days, I am proud to report that we have not lost a single dwarf. But of the bad, it should come as little surprise. We are still engaged in war, my friend. There is no time to simply take shelter and rest while Gorgar hides within the mountain home. After all, there are other ways out of that mountain, and the orcs must know of them. You interrupt to ask Rathvid about Prince Durin's plan to reclaim Gundabad. That is not so simple a matter. My soldiers are in need of rest. I have seen enough of battle to know the signs of fatigue, even if they are too proud to admit it. Durin holds some of his army in reserve at Amak Karfu, and I would urge him to send as many soldiers as he can to spare to relieve us, even if only for a short time. It would be of great help to us for the coming battles. I guess orcs just suck at killing dwarf NPCs. How can you call it a war with 0 casualties? Well, I think the Zelruka have had casualties. It's just the Longbeards haven't? Question mark? Alright, so I believe we now need to go... Well, maybe the other one's inside, I guess. But we still need to go over here for the other mission that I think isn't even part of this update. So let's go do that. Because it sounds epic as well. As we go through the World War I war-torn valley here. Once more on the offensive. I must admit, they've gotten a lot better at like the animation entrances and stuff like that. I wish they would do more of that in like previous areas, because I don't know if you guys remember, back in Shadows of Angmar, that happened all the time. But then they got rid of it for like years. And I know it takes more time, but like that little attention to detail and making like custom animations for an area is really, really cool. I think it adds a lot. Yeah, the animations are buggy for sure, for sure. But I still like the attempt, man. It means that they're not just good with the status quo anymore. They're actually doing some stuff that's unique again. And that's better than nothing. Like, as buggy and annoying as this area is, it's so different from anywhere else, and I actually like it for that. I think that it's nice that we're actually getting some different kind of content in LOTRO. As much crap as I give for missions, it's nice that it's different. It's not just more of the same. So from that regard, I do like missions from that perspective, but I just wish they were more challenging. I think if they were more challenging, players wouldn't have as many issues with them. And if there weren't so many of them to do. Yeah, Angmar had a lot of cool stuff going on. A lot of custom stuff. Yes, I know Lothlorien got a new map. We hopefully will see that today. Oh, are we going too far? Yes, we are. It's awful? Alright. Now you kind of want me to take a look at it now. As our horse has a heart attack. And dies. We make our way inside. Jeez.
One moment of my time. Then, off with you.
The Master Waifu Bandito, what is up? Imagine there was something like WoW's Draenor expansion, where you can build your own village for missions. Well, there kind of was that with, what is that? That one Rohan town where we had to build it, rebuild it. I can't think of what it's called now. I had hoped you would come, Andang. The battle at Azzag Tab has grown bloodier with each passing hour, and there have been enormous casualties on both sides. For my part, I shall make certain that Gorgar suffers the greater loss. If we are to emerge victorious, we should have need of more warriors like you. There is much to discuss if you are to aid us. But that was just a vector quest, and now there's nothing else to do because you've already done all the plot lines here. And so really I was just wasting time, but you can now just look deep into my one eye. The glass one, of course. Not the one, not the real one, and then come on, look at my glass eye. Jeez. There we go, yes, look deep inside. It turns out it's actually a mini Palantir, and you're now becoming very sleepy because I'm secretly evil. Alright, so maybe that didn't happen, but let's go ahead and continue on. Heightbold, yes, Heightbold was what I was thinking of. Yes, thank you, chat. Alright, well, I'm glad we came all the way over here just for that. Let's now continue along. I don't think the difficulty slider will make missions harder, but man, it'd be nice if it did. There we go, our horse finally put on some clothes. We had the nudist colony horse for a while, but thankfully... thankfully our Steam pre-order steed is finally here once more. We play on Steam, we ride on Steam. We also give away Steam cards, exclamation Azzog in chat, to get your chance to win a $50 Steam card. Make sure you're following the channel as well. Let's go ahead and continue along. That was a very delayed hi, Neuroctic. I'd have a glass eye if I didn't want your attention. Exactly. Exactly. Already got your kills? I have not yet. Oh, geez. Water. Water. A champion's worst nightmare. Alright, let's maybe kill some of these. Can you stop throwing snowballs at me, buddy? That's just rude. How do you even get snowballs here anyway? Have you just been packing them away? You're like, oh, I'll need these later. Let's just save them for that one champion that'll come along and annoy me. Stop shooting! I'm in the way! Stop shooting! Stop it! They're trying to kill me. I'm gonna go do work pin WOTP to get stuff to throw at you? That's rude! Why are there so many enemies? Oh my gosh. Whew. Whew. That was close. We might still die. We really might still die. Do we have anything that we can take really quick? Not there. Let's try eating this. Whew. New map looks sick. Alright, let's go to Lothlorien and see what it looks like. I actually like it, Mistweaver. I think it looks nice. The Azanulbizar map? Tales of Yore, Azanulbizar. It's alright. It's alright. Durin's Stone's on the map there. Is it on the map in Lothlorien? No, it's not. In Miromir, sunken stars appear. Alright, let's go this way. This was the way. Is the quest after? No frame yet? Yeah, no frame yet, friend. Switch the 12-year on this character. There we go. How useful are trenches when you're that short? Why do you need a trench that deep when you're that short? I feel like you don't. I feel like it's completely useless. I feel like you should be having dwarf height trenches. Otherwise, they're strategically useless, guys. Feel like you don't... Well, yeah, I guess to protects from the gas attacks. That's true, Mistweaver. Although, wouldn't the gas just settle in the trench? Pretty sure that's how that works. I could be wrong. I guess that's only if it's a direct hit. Oh, gas goes up? Okay. Did not know that. The more you know. Does anyone know where this NPC is? By chance? Does it tell me in here? No, no, it doesn't. Here we go. We found him anyway.
If Prince Durin would hear my advice, it is that our soldiers need rest, and the time to heal for the coming battles.
Well, I know smoke rises Mistweaver, but smoke is different than gas. It is good to see you, Andang. But what has brought you here? You present Prince Durin's plan to reclaim Mount Gundabad to Lagi, and ask him his thoughts on it. Although he has led the Gabalaka admirably through this war, I have many misgivings in regard to the prince's plan. Just look at the soldiers here in Zarkul Salon. They are tired. We spent the lives of many dwarves to win the gates of Mount Gundabad. But for those who survived, it is now a matter of will. And not all the dwarves in the Gabalaka can bear such a burden. Hardship is to be expected in war. But many of these soldiers do not know it as I do. In my youth, we spent 6 years of bitter war fighting our enemies. But even in the height of the fury, King Thrain knew the value of respite from battle. Many look back at that war as a single great battle at Azanulbizar. But had we fought those years without rest, we might never have made it to the gates of Khazad-dûm. If Prince Durin would hear my advice, it is that our soldiers need rest and the time to heal for his coming battles. We have been fortunate this far in the War of the Three Peaks, but winning a battle does not win a war. I think they just did it because it looks cool, yeah. Most rise, okay. But I guess dwarves make everything bigger than they need it, for the most part.
I find myself in agreement with the Karum Ubnar, but a dwarf of my reputation could hardly say as much aloud. I would be called Nayin the Slaked.
You'd be called what? So you return, Andang. What did they have to say of Prince Durin's plans? You informed 9 of what Engar, Lagi, and Rathvald told you. I should have expected such wisdom from the dwarves of Khazad-dûm. In truth, I find myself in agreement with them. But a dwarf of my reputation could hardly deliver such news to Durin. I would be called 9 this Laked. And that is no title for the Lord of the Iron Hills. What does Slaked mean? Slaked definition. Quench or satisfy one's thirst. I don't know. I feel like that word does not mean what they think it means. To be satisfied. Well, why would he be? Oh, just because he'd be called the Satisfied and wouldn't go on to do more stuff. Okay, I get it. And that is no title for the Lord of the Iron Hills. Were it my army, I would muster more forces to Elderslade and call upon distant cousins and allies. But that would be a matter to bring before my brother, Thorin. Ah, for once I am pleased such a decision is not left to me. You must return to Anak Karfu on my behalf, Andang. Let this be my guidance to the prince. Seek the wisdom of your father, and stay your hand for the moment, that it might soon swing with renewed strength. As he cannot get enough of battle, right? Yeah, he's very satisfied. Probably a reference to bloodthirst, maybe. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Interesting. It's like less. Yeah. Less. Yes. So unsatisfied. And then we were stuck running. And then we were stuck running. Oh my gosh. Alright, there we go. Oh boy. Where is this? Is this in the war version? Okay, so yeah, it's back in the other version. Okay. To Anak Karfu. So that we can somehow end up in Lothlorien. Here we go. How we end up in Lothlorien is unbeknownst to me. Use the freaking banners. No. Never. Alright, I believe he's upstairs. Probably gonna need that port later. Oh, well. It only has like a 5-minute cooldown or something low like that because we bought the stuff from the store. Thomas coming in with a gifted sub to Amaranth. Welcome, Thomas, to the chat. Amaranth, enjoy the ad-free viewing, the extra monthly giveaway, the badges, the emotes, and everything else that comes to sub here on Twitch. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Lots of people just tuning in right now. Nice to have all of you here. We're going through the Blood of Azog, the newest update to the Lord of the Rings Online.
I must admit, my friend, that is not the response I expected from my uncle.
Andang, what did Nine have to say of my plan? You deliver Nine's guidance to Prince Durin. The prince's face becomes stern, betraying the faintest hint of embarrassment. I must admit, my friend, that is not the response I expected. But if Uncle Nine believes I should send word to my father that the Gabalaka might be better for it, I have no reason to doubt his judgment. After all, it was not so long ago that I spent my days at the quenching trough in Yarnfast, spared the battle before the Lonely Mountain by the will of my father. But when it is my uncle who urges restraint, only a fool would ignore his counsel. Perhaps I was too swift to dismiss Glowin's concerns. I shall have to apologize to him for my imprudence, if I might. It seems I have much still to learn, despite my station. How many points to read quest text as Sheepers Creepers? I think it's 1,000 for a little bit anyway.
If Uncle Nain
You just pick read a voice and it'll do that.
Its numbers, I see no reason to argue with him.
I once gifted a sub to Fortnite to a streamer to a streamer, and shortly after, the streamer was confused because he saw Fortnite in the viewer list. Then Fortnite started speaking with the official partner badge. Thanked me for the sub. Oh, dang, Thomas. Yeah, it's for up to 30 words. I guess you could just keep redeeming it. If you wanted to, Tepic. Ooh, we get a Skull of Empowerment. One Skull of Empowerment. Really, Tepic? Really, Tepic? That's what we're banning? That's what we're banning? Alright. Alright, buddy. Hopefully it won't come up. I shall hold them from now. Yes, it's going to be bad, Mr. Weaver. So be it, Andang. I must admit, I had not expected to send another messenger to the Lonely Mountain until this war was ended. I had hoped to send tidings of victory to my father, that I might finally prove myself a dwarf worthy of the name Durin. Bah, perhaps it was folly to entertain such stubbornness. If my uncle believes the Gabalaka would be helped again by its swelling number, I see no reason to argue with him. Like, naming your son Durin, that is such a crazy thing. Thomas gifting a sub to Fortnite. Fortnite supporting the channel. Queen giving a sub to Neurotic Anarchy. Queen, thank you so much. Thomas, thank you so much. Fortnite, Neurotic Anarchy, enjoy the ad-free viewing. This entries in the monthly giveaway, the badges, the emails, everything else that comes in sub here on Twitch. We're super close to a hype train. And also, that video's not loading anymore, but we would have watched it if it was. Thorin looks across the upper hall of Anak Karfu. I will need some time to draft a missive to my father, but I have an idea. Many of the Longbeards here at Anak Karfu have written letters and prepared parcels to be delivered to their kin at the Lonely Mountain. Unfortunately, a great deal of them have gone unsent in recent days. Shire was taken, thanks so much for the host. It would please me to correct his oversight at this time. What was bright? What was bright? Oh boy. Jeez. Saren, what is up? Welcome, welcome. Good morning indeed. For a second, I had to look to check to see if it wasn't Fortnite who hosted you. Oh, the screen when you enter the instance is super bright? Okay. I will set to writing my father at once. After you have gathered all of the letters and parcels, return to me. You have to collect 12 letters and 8 parcels. Alright. I'm assuming they're not in here. Within and without. Oh, hello. Getting all the letters. Today, kids, we're going to talk about the letter E. If you've ever wanted to accidentally jump out of a helicopter, then you're just like Gussie, who loves the letter E. There's the E keys. What? What? If Sesame Street ever did want to sponsor the show with the letter E, oh my gosh, I would indulge it so much. Alright, the word ban is now lifted. It has been 5 minutes. But surprisingly, said word has not come up yet. Alright, so it did say within and without, so I'm assuming that there's parcels outside as well. Looks like there's some down here. The timing is gold. I like the swiping motion it makes. It's hard to hear, but it's a neat noise. It sounds like, let me see if I have it. Let's see. Here we go, here we go, here we go. No, not that one. This one. There we go. Sounds like that. I don't know why, but that's really satisfying to me. Anyway. Time to go back up. We got all the crap Durin needed without even exiting the building. Princes are so lazy, man. All the emotes.
I have written my father a formal request for a new muster. When the time comes to reclaim Gundabad, we will have need for dwarves of every vocation.
One that comprises all our trusted allies, even those unskilled in combat. When the time comes to reclaim Gundabad, we will have need for dwarves of every vocation. I have also made special note that I will not begin the assault on Mount Gundabad until the time of your return. If my father wishes to offer any guidance, I would prefer to hear it before the battle is upon us. Durin seals the missive he has written to his father and hands it to you. By entrusting you with this missive, I am entrusting you with the success of the Gabalaka, my friend. Be swift and let nothing turn you from your path to the lonely mountain. I legit thought he was going to say mission, and I was going to laugh. Anyway. "30 words of text is Sheepers Creepers." Alright, Tepik. The next dialogue we'll read is
Sheepers Creepers. There's a sheep over there.
which will probably be the current king under the Lonely Mountain. But anyway. Alright. Deliver the letters, parcels, and Durin's missive to King Thorn at the hall under the mountain in Erebor. To Erebor. But I hope there's a lot of good story in this update. I think there will be. It's the War of Azanulbizar, like that's huge. Still one of the best looking zones, man. Remember when we used to go right to the throne room? Remember those days, chat? Those were the good days before the dark time. Before the path. That gate is from Middle-earth Online. And they're still using that same asset 20 years later, man. Insane. Here we go, getting some deep dwarf choir. Oh yeah, we can ride goats in here. Thanks, Mistweaver. Obviously, it's like the BBC, 4 actors and 2 sets. SSG has the same budget. Have we really not done that?
And our dreams of the north would not die.
This had to have been
So
reset.
yet again, in the days of Thorin the First, to the Grey Mountains we ventured again.
Or maybe we canceled it. I don't know. Either way.
Welcome, my adventurous friend. What news do you bring of Durin? How fares his campaign?
It has been some... Oh, yeah. I almost forgot. Sheepers, creepers. Guerrero, what is up? Nice to have you here. It has been some time since Glowin's message raven arrived, bearing a warning that the line of Azog remains unbroken in Gundabad. What news do you bring of my son? How fares his campaign? You inform King Thorin of the events that have transpired since he sent the remnants of the Iron Garrison to Anak Karfu. You tell the tale of battle on the threshold of Gundabad, of Gorgar's near defeat, and of the sudden danger of Himil Frostheart, returned from the Anvil of Winter's Stith. You also tell King Thorin of Durin's desire to press the attack, and how he was persuaded against it, at least for the moment, by Nine and the Dwarves of Karum Abnar. Best accent for a king. I feared you have come bearing ill tidings, my friend. So long as my son is well, it puts my heart at ease. Thorin glances at the mass of letters and parcels you have brought to Erebor. I appreciate that you have answered me as swiftly as you did, but please set all of that down. My subjects will see that they are delivered to the proper dwarves here in the Lonely Mountain.
As for his missive, let us see what he has written.
With great relief, you set everything on the landing before King Thorin's throne.
Tell me, how did my son come to change his
Vote
mind? Truly?
this as his accent permanently. New Thorin voice, best Thorin voice.
A moment, my friend.
King Thorin reads the missive from Durin.
I see. Tell me, Andang, how did my son come to change his mind truly?
You tell King Thorin of Glóin's concern, and of his suggestion to speak to the dwarves of Karamambanar among the Gabalaka.
It was for that reason I sent them, and I am heartened that Glóin warned him against plans born of vengeance. I only wish my son had heeded his words. Durin leads the greatest Longbeard army we have brought to bear in 70 years. But he is still young, and in truth untested. Yes, he has found victory at many stops among his journey for the Iron Hills. But it is hardship that shapes a dwarf. Durin was fortunate to know my father Dane in the time he too was young when he answered the call of war. And I often wondered what he would think of how swiftly Durin has grown into his name.
King Thorin's mind turns to the thoughts of Dine and Durin. Read the missions with such passion. Does he always read it like this? Oh my goodness. Oh, that's an oldie. Old quest. That's kind of creepy. Kind of a creepy ghost. Creepy ghost. Creepy ghost.
What can be said of my father Dain that has not been etched into the very history of Durin's folk?
As he reminisces about Dine, Thorin's voice softens.
What can be said of my father Dine that he has not etched into the very history of Durin's folk? He was but a stripling when he slew the great orc Azog at Azanulbizar. It was he who answered the call of Thorin Oakenshield and defended the Lonely Mountain against Bolg and the goblins of the north, and in so doing ushered in a time of peace between men, elves, and dwarves. And again, when the enemy sent his servants to the gates of the Lonely Mountain, he died in defense of his people, a hero to the last breath. But despite all of his great deeds, I knew him as my father, and I was his son, and Durin his beloved grandson. I must confess that I often saw more of Dine and Durin than I did in myself. But what greater dwarf could one aspire to be?
Listen to King Thorin's thoughts of his son, Durin. Oh, over here. Dusty from Paradise PD.
Durin is not as hot-tempered as my brother, nor is he as measured as his father. He is himself, and that is enough.
This is the Beording voice, Queen.
Shazam!
As his thoughts turn to Durin, Thorin's voice swells.
I have always been the more cautious of Dine's sons, and it has served me well. But for too long I believed it would suit Durin in much the same manner. It was not so long ago that I suggested Durin in the Iron Hills. sequestered rather, while battle raged in the Dale lands. But now my son leads an army to reclaim the mountain home. I dared not dream that Gundabad might be within reach, especially after the failure of the Iron Garrison. And yet my son has proven its possibility, both to me and to all of Durin's folk.
I mean, they literally call the group of people folk. I'm telling you, their country folk is nothing else. Viewers up 20 since new accent.
Durin is not as hot-tempered as my brother, nor is he measured as his father. He is himself, and that is enough. Durin will, as any dwarf will in his time, but I did not name him Durin that he would earn the name in his life. The name will earn him through his deeds.
Durin has requested that I send a new mustard to the mountain home. But
It
so
is
too
true
does he ask for my guidance.
That many
That
dwarves
has
of the
given me much to consider.
Iron Garrison pledged themselves into the service of my son, and more still journeyed from our holdings in the Misty Mountains to aid the Gabalaka. Even so, there are many Longbeards and trustworthy dwarves of the land of Rim and the Narfolhoth that might still be called upon. Durin has requested I send new muster to the mountain home. It will be done.
Thorin pauses for a moment and strokes his beard.
But so too does my son ask for my guidance, and that has given me much to consider.
My son asks my guidance in winning a war.
Thorin trying to reclaim his voice, but failing. Guerriero, thank you so much for the follow. Nice to have you here. Mafungo Jones, what's up? It's amazing hearing these dwarven names and locations attempt to be pronounced with this accent.
My son asked my guidance in winning a war.
Thorin chuckles to himself.
I may not be a warrior in the manner of my father, Andang, but I know well enough that those of Khazad-dûm learned such lessons long ago. After all, it was Dain who organized the Khazad-dûm after the war's end. It was to be comprised of those who survived the Sixth War, and those who descended from Maranarn, the burned dwarves of Azanulbizar. Agnar, Laggy, and Rethvald are not the only dwarves that order who still dwell within the lonely mountain. My friend, perhaps their wisdom might be of use to my son.
Sword of Asley, thank you so much for the host. Thorin thinks for a moment, stroking his beard. After a moment, he produces a small scrap of paper and writes upon it a short message.
Azanulbizar. Every single tiny little bit of... I can't think of the word now. Anyway, let's move on. Within the dwelling halls of Tamnûdum, there is an order hall of Khazad-dûm. It is known among Durin's folk as Zahar, and there you might find a dwarf named Haerseg. She is barely beyond the age of a stripling, but she is the granddaughter of one of the greatest heroes of Azanulbizar, and more importantly, one of the dearest friends of my father Dain. I have written her a note asking she might introduce you to the works of her grandfather, Haremath Stormhammer. She too is well studied in the lore of Durin's folk, possessing wisdom beyond her years. Deliver this missive to her, and she will understand what I ask.
Brethren past and present. Thorin totes my goat sitting on his porch with lemonade. Speaking of lemonade, I'm gonna go get some real quick. I will be right back, chat. Stay right there for more LOTRO coming soon. Alrighty, chat, we are back. In the delving halls of Khazad-dûm in Erebor. Okay, so that's just outside of here. Okay, I know where it is. Alright, I think. Maybe. Here we go. And congrats on finishing updating, Fahrenheit. That's awesome, buddy. Congratulations. Oh yeah, we got an unfollow scroll. Not allowed while mounted. No. Pretty sure we don't have anything that's 74, so I'm pretty sure we're just gonna have to sell those on the AH. The old auction house. I really just once, and I can't do it, so I can't even do this voiceover, but I really just once want to hear a Hobbit auctioneer. Because I'd assume all the bidding's done in pies. But yeah, we don't have anything below 74, which is really frustrating. I forget what we were upgrading. Oh yeah, we were doing Devastating Strike. Not a whole lot left to update on this weapon anyway. We're doing pretty good. What's the max on this? Oh, it goes way higher. 5 more, so it goes to 83 as well. Oh, because that's that. I was looking at the wrong thing. Okay. 28 out of 33. So yeah, there's 5 more here as well, so we could go to 71? Why do they stop at the weirdest numbers, man? I don't understand. Anyway, let's get back on our mount. I guess we could sell that on the auction house right now. Do that real quick. Well, that's the vault. Is there not? Here's the auction. So I'm not even sure if these are bound or not. Bound to account. Dang it. Alright, well, we'll send it to another character at some point in the future. Wait, there's a stable travel here? We could have just stabled over there? Really? Is this a new place? I feel like this is a new location. As you enter Khazad-dûm, a familiar dwarf greets you. This is definitely a new spot. There's a lot of names in there.
I heard you followed Prince Durin in his quest. Was that not so?
Ah. Andang, what brings you back to the Lonely Mountain? I heard you followed Prince Durin in his quest. Was that not so? You explained to Frithgear that you have returned at Durin's request to seek aid of King Thorin. I see. Well, do not let me keep you, my friend. For my part, I was just about to take Nar home. It has been a long day, and although he was more himself this morning, his mind has wandered. Perhaps Nar might wish you well in your quest, but I can make no promise. Nar? Nar glances around at Khazad-dûm, seemingly unaware of your presence. Man, poor Nar, man. Been through so much. Nar shuffles for a moment, but his gaze soon fixes upon you. Ah, hello. You look an awful lot like a man I met long ago at Zargland. I do hope they are well. But we must be going, yes? I do hope Hervin makes his stew tonight. Do one more mission, then start the wait? A friend of yours is playing Crusader Kings 3 with a Lord of the Rings mod? Tom Bombadil, the role of collecting taxes? Hey do, Mary do! Money now or out with you? Oh my gosh.
Wherever Prince Durin's quest might lead you, I hope you take care of yourself, my friend.
Thank you, Andang. It means a great deal to me. And I know it does Nar good to see his friends. Wherever Prince Durin's quest might lead you, I hope you take care of yourself, my friend. Perhaps we will see you next you return to the Lonely Mountain. After a moment, Frithir and Nar depart from Azanulbizar, Star Trek style, and you wonder about the existence of aliens in Middle-earth. Alrighty then. Across the dimly lit hall of Akaz-Zahar, you spot a young dwarf, matching King Thorin's description. That's maybe the cutest face I've ever seen on a dwarf. That's like they put a hobbit face on a dwarf. What the heck?
A missive from King Thorin? I do hope this isn't about the cave claws again. Last time was an accident, I swear it.
Tom Bombadil's probably great at it. Even the Barrow Whites can't hide. Yeah, even the Barrow Whites have to pay taxes in Tom Bombadil's world. What business have you with Karam Amnar? Herseg appears to tighten her grip upon a weapon beneath your view. You swiftly explain that you have been sent by King Thorin to deliver a missive to Herseg. A missive from King Thorin? I do hope this isn't about the cave claws again. Last time was an accident, I swear it. What?
Let me see what all this is about.
Herag looks over the missive from King Thorin. Her bushy eyebrows raise and lower a few times until finally she lets out what seems to be a sigh of relief. Well, that wasn't what I expected. I must apologize for my curt introduction, Andang. I am Hersig, and I tend to Khazad-dûm on behalf of Karum Abnar. As for that missive, it seems King Thorin wishes for me to introduce you to the works of my grandfather, Hermath Stormhammer. He kept a detailed account of his experiences in the Sixth War of the Dwarves and Orcs, especially the Battle of Azanulbizar. In fact, a collection of his volumes are right over there. Although I am sure Prince Durin has heard tales of that war before, the king insists your study of it will be of use to his son and the Gabalaka. But it is no use studying the battle without hearing the beginning of the tale. I say King Thorin has given me a task of my own, but since I have little time, I'd be honored to read it to you. So what say you? Curse? Removes any costume you are currently wearing? Perfect for reminiscing about your tales of yore. Oh, so we get to dress up as them? That's amazing. Alright.
So you wish to hear the tale of Nar?
Well, they drop a coin when defeated, so they surely have income. Oh my gosh. I must warn you, Andang, it is quite grim. Even for a retelling. Are we getting Flawless Starlight Crystal as well? Oh. Ah, but first, Hereg glances around Akaz-Zahar, making careful note of the dwarves still present. Ah, good. It seems Frithgeir has taken him home. Nar is an old dwarf, and though it is no fault of his own, he is often forgetful and confused in his mind. It is as the stones of a great mosaic were scattered upon the floor. All of the pieces remain in some form or another, but what it once depicted is lost. Even so, neither I nor anyone else in this hall would tell the tale in his presence. Hersig lifts a small volume from her hip and flips through its pages, stopping at one page in particular. Let us begin.
When you are ready, I will begin.
Let's
Although
go.
he has at last found comfort amongst Durin's folk
I see what
of
you
the
mean, Miss
lonely
Favor.
mountain, the dwarf Nar has been witness to much hardship and tragedy throughout his long life.
Waiting on that screenshot. Waiting on that screenshot. Any day now. There we go.
Long after the realm of Grark had fallen to the cold drake Vetug, and 20 years after the lonely mountain fell to Smaug, King Thror and his folk came to dwell in a pool near the wilds of Gunland.
From the old stronghold of Zudragund, Thror ruled what remained of the two kingdoms he had fled in his life. His son was Thrain, a formidable warrior, his grandsons Thorin and Frerin, and granddaughter Dis were yet young. His people were few, poor and hungry, and they knew little joy since the loss of their homes in the north. Dotage and gloom took their toll on King Thror, and he thought long of regaining splendor of his father's halls. But it was not in the halls of Erebor where Smaug now stumbled upon the heirlooms of his people, nor the frozen wastes of the north that called to him. It was Khazad-dûm itself. It had been more than 800 years since doom befell it, since the elves named it Moria. But it mattered not. Thror determined that he would reclaim it, and so in doing so restore the glory of his kingdom and of Durin's folk. What true reason he had, none are for certain. Perhaps he had gone mad, or perhaps not.
Yet, in his heart, Thror desired one last quest, though he would not say where he meant to go.
But whatever the case, he summoned Thrain, and gave to him what heirlooms of their house remained. Chief among them his ring, last of the 7 that had been given to the dwarf kings. He said to Thrain, "Riches may yet spring anew from his Babel, my son, or perhaps not. Yet one cannot breed gold without gold." Of course, dwarves trying to breed gold. We were... Out of all the people in Middle-earth, I don't think any of us are surprised that the dwarves tried to breed gold, yes. Where were we? That totally distracted me. When Thrain asked if his intent was to return to Erebor, Thror remained silent. After a long moment he said, "These bones are too old. I will not be avenged on Smaug. That fate, perchance, shall be yours, or your son's. I have known too much loss, and of men's derision. I go to seek better fortunes, if they may be yet found." He did not say where he meant to go, and Thrain did not ask, but merely wished him fortune in his quest.
All in Zudragund bade farewell to Thror, though they knew naught of his quest. Yet, to the surprise of his kin, Thror did not set off on his journey alone. With him, he took a single companion, Nar, his friend and esquire of old. And that is where our tale begins.
All right.
Together, Thror and Nar went north. In old Eregion, Thor insisted against the West Gate, and the two continued northward. After a time, they crossed the Redhorn Pass and descended into Azanulbizar.
Oh, dang.
In the dwarves' absence, it had become an unfamiliar and unfriendly land. The dale had long fallen silent, and what remained of the Great Way was choked with undergrowth.
Yeah.
Yet there, beyond the brambles and brush, lay THRÓR'S prize, the lost kingdom of Khazad-dûm.
Gotta say, the music's pretty cool in this instance.
Before them, the east gate yawned open, as if to beckon the two of them forth. But the journey had been long.
Although both Thror and Nar now saw many signs of orcs in the dale, they were old and overtrodden. Outside Khazad-dûm, all was still and silent. Before them, the east gate yawned open, as if to beckon the two of them forth. But the journey had been long, and Nar thought better of seeking shelter within Moria.
In need of respite, Nar urged Thror to take rest.
Alright.
Although Thror had set his mind on entering Khazad-dûm, he relented. And so, Nar toiled to set a small encampment at Azanulbizar.
Oh, dang. So this seems like a real update, guys. I'm excited. There's actual story here. It's not like the crappy update we got at the beginning of the year. I am super hyped.
Nar built a fire and prepared what meager meal he could. But when the supper was ended, Thror stood at once.
Hidden beneath the eaves and trees and stones at the foot of Zerkzijil, Nar built a fire and prepared what meager meal. When the supper was ended, Thror stood at once, as if to answer. Nar knelt before the old king and helped him to fasten a shield to his arm.
It is time, Nar. I have lived long enough in exile. You have proven your loyalty, my friend, and I ask only that you await my return.
Oh, dang.
Do not fear, dear Nar. I go to honor our forefathers.
Take heed, my friend. An ill wind blows in this vale.
But Thror cared not. Axe in hand, he went in, as proud as any dwarf ever crossed the doorstep of Khazad-dûm. For many days, Nar hid among the trees outside the gates, lonely and troubled.
Oh. Oh, he's lonely, man. Thror had bidden Nar to stay and await his return.
But it was not merely the word of his king that kept him from daring into Moria. In truth, and to his shame, Nar was afraid. For many days Nar hid among the trees outside the gates, lonely and troubled. When he dared to draw near to the gate and peer into the gloom, neither sound nor faintness flicker of light emerged from within. More troubling still, neither had Thror.
And so, Nar waited. And waited.
Oh, dang. This is really good storytelling for LOTRO.
And waited. And waited.
Okay.
And waited until he thought he could bear it no longer.
Despite every doubt, though, he resolved did not falter. Even if he were fated to live the rest of his days huddled beside a fire at Azanulbizar, Nar would not disobey his king. It was his duty to await THRÓR'S return.
As another day of waiting drew to an end, Nar slipped into dreams. In his mind, Nar beheld Thrór'S standing triumphantly before the east gate. Behind him, a chorus of hammers and song echoed from the halls of Khazad-dûm. Such a joyous end to the quest Nar could have hardly imagined.
Alright.
But it would not be so.
I feel like they were going to animate that, and then they realized how hard it would be, and they're like, yeah, well, we're just gonna put a blank brown screen.
When Nar awoke, his clothing was cold and heavy with rain.
Nar's rest had ended abruptly, and in a daze, he tried to regain his bearings. Above him the sky loomed dark, its hue a sickly purple, and he could not tell if it was day or night. Aside from the sound of trickling rainfall, all was still and silent. Alas, Nar would have little time to ponder his situation.
Breaking the silence, a distant voice shouted in the Orcish tongue. A horn blared, harsh and ugly, out of Moria. And from the east gate came a sickening thud, echoing through Azanulbizar. Fear for Thrór'r seized Nar's heart, yet, loyal as ever and heedless of all peril, Nar drew his sword. Abandoning his hiding spot, he rushed up the steps to the east gate.
Oh, dang. See, I know what happens here from the Tolkien Professor podcast. It's crazy, guys. This is a crazy story.
Nar stopped at once, frozen in horror. Out of the darkness had flown a body, its limbs all a-tangled. And nearby, a head lay before the gates of Khazad-dûm.
Dang.
Nar had known the truth at once, but wished not to believe it. It was THRÓR.
As Nar crept closer, there came a chittering laughter from beyond the darkness of the east gate.
And then, out of the darkest shadows of Moria, came a voice.
We know you're there, Bidley. We've been watching you. But never fear. We won't take your head today.
Oh, dang.
No, you'll make a fine messenger yet. Well, come on then. You see what we do to beggars and vagabonds who barge through these doors?
Dang.
He got what he had coming. The old thief, trying to filch what's ours. You're not bringing your reeking whiskers around these parts again. And this is what you'll get. You tell them now. Tell them all. And when his family asks who killed him and who's king here, that will be your answer. Go on. Have a look. It's right there on his face. There I wrote it. You can read, can't you?
Oh my gosh.
Nar knelt to inspect Thrór's head, and upon it was carved the name Azog.
That's right! I'm the master of this house! Leave it be, Beggarbeard.
That's mine now.
He looks pretty cool.
Yeah, some coin for your troubles.
Oh, dang.
It's the least we can do, eh, boys? Now, off with you.
I like how he still takes the coins. As a true dwarf.
And so, Nar fled weeping from Khazad-dûm.
Dang.
For many months, Nar wandered in the wilderness, racked with sorrow. The sight of his king's defilement branded in his heart.
At first, Nar again made for the Redhorn Pass, but orcs beyond counting had gathered there, and watched him with their red eyes. And so Nar flecked back the way he had come, and he passed by the gates of Khazad-dûm again. More great orcs, including some larger than any he had heard before, had surrounded Thrór's corpse and were hacking it to pieces. Into that hateful frenzy, a great mass of crows descended, and to them the orcs began flinging the scraps of the dwarf king. Nar dared not look again. Tear-blind, Nar ran on along the banks of Keled-Zaram, fleeing the orcs and the wolves that had hunted him in cruel sport. When at last he came to the ruins of Andang, he found them barred, and black arrows hounded his every step. Desperate to escape his own doom, Nar thought of Kibil Nala, and leapt down the paths alongside the stream. By some stroke of fortune, Nar had won his escape, but behind him the laughter of Azog and the orcs rang in his ears. For many months, Nar wandered in the wilderness, racked with sorrow, the sight of his king's defilement branded in his heart. At long last he found his way north to the high pass across the misty mountains, then made his way to Thrór's Coombe. By the time he entered Zedrungund, the guards scarcely recognized him, so haggard and wild he had grown. Nar was never well in his mind again. And that is all there is to tell of the doom of Thrór'r, Andang. Ryfelwer, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome, welcome.
As for Nar, there is far more to be said of his tale.
But I shall tell it briefly as I might. Nar was brought to Thrain in Zingelgrund, and there told his tale, and spoke of the name Azog, which all Longbeards have held with hatred ever since. All Thrór's court wept at the tidings, and tore their beards. Then, dang, they tore their beards, holy crap. Then looked to Thrain, who sat down heavily upon his father's throne and was silent. Breaking the silence, Thorin said, "You are king now, father. What is your will? How shall we answer this outrage?" All around the court, hands went to sword hilt and axe handle, and brows lowered darkly. But still Thrain sat quiet, and did not move. 7 days he remained thus, still as a stone, saying no word. Then, as a storm long gathering that breaks upon the mountainside, he arose, eyes ablaze, and cried, "This cannot be borne!" From Threin's yearning vengeance arose the 6th War of the Dwarves and Orcs, called simply the War of the Dwarves and Orcs in our memory. But that is another tale.
Let us hope that Nar has found some measure of happiness again, even at so old an age. It is the very least he deserves.
As for Nar, I think it's good that he finally left Ziggelgrund behind. Since his return, Nar has made many friends in the Lonely Mountain, when he feels well enough to visit us here in Akra-Zahar. I have heard his laugh, and seen the light in his eye when he smiles, although it pains me to even think such a thing. Spam calls, man. Perhaps his ailment has been something of a mercy, some small kindness bestowed upon him by the first crafter. Let us hope that Nar has found some measure of happiness again, even at so old an age. It is the very least he deserves. Now then, I must tend to the task King Thorin gave me, and you ought to begin your studies of my grandfather's work. Azzag gestures to a stack of books atop a nearby table. Those will tell you all you need to know about the Battle of Azanulbizar, Andang. When you have studied it enough for your liking, you are to return to the King under the mountain. With any luck, I will see you again soon. Oh my goodness, more missions.
Hail, friend!
Complete missions in Karum Abnar.
What do you want?
So there's just a bunch of quests there. All right. Let's get the stable. Why is there a port to Trestlebridge? Did they change Trestlebridge at all? I know they did a while ago, but why is... I guess because there's more missions there? Oh my gosh. Of course there are. Alright. Quite the screenshot, I think. Right again. Oh no. It's a nice little fireplace. Of course they use crystals for reading lights, man. Of course. This is a pretty cool little place. Where's this book, though? there's an upstairs. Whoa. That looks pretty cool. Oh, well, it doesn't go anywhere. Huh. Here we go. Here's the book. What is going on over here? Alright, well, apparently there's a random cave claw attacking over there. What? Why? Why is that a thing? Oh my gosh, it is bright again. That better not be how this whole zone is, or so help me. Was that how the last flashback zone was? I thought it was in color, I don't remember. As you sift through the first pages of Hamath Stonehammer's account of the Sixth War of the Dwarves and Orcs, you notice the author has written a foreword. Whoa, he does look sick, Miss Weaver. That helmet. What is up with that hammer? It's got like lightning. Stormhammer indeed, that's really cool. It's in color, don't worry. Okay, thanks, Nettlebrew. Chapter 1, there's multiple chapters? I think the hammer is pretty cool. I like it. Yeah, we need more dwarven armor sets for sure. For sure. It was at the behest of Dain, my dear friend and king under the mountain, that I embarked upon writing a complete account of the Sixth War of the Dwarves and Orcs. For too long, Durin's folk had endured hardship after hardship, and it did not seem proper to dwell on such a sorrowful chapter of our history. Where my own memory, experiences did not serve as the tale, I enlisted the accounts of others, chief among them the sons of Fundin and Groen, and by his own request, King Dain. For this they have my truest gratitude. As a final note, I have labored to construct the tale of the reader might see it through mine own eyes. If I should interject on occasion, it is only to make clear certain details or include aspects of the tale learned long after the war's end. Beneath the foreword, you notice a dedication. Oh, beneath the foreword, you notice a dedication for Durin. Oh, dang. Old tokens. That looks pretty cool. By the winter of Third Age 2799, King Thran and his great reckoning host, the Haban Akka, had made camp at the Amdan, the ancient threshold of the kingdom of Khazad-dûm. It had been a long journey, for they had made a wide march around Lorien and come up from the south, treading the old stones of the Great Way. All through Amdan, dwarves of the Seven Houses grew restless. I, like all of the Arnfolk, were camped near the House Thrain. Although few of us knew it at the time, it was to be the eve of battle. There we go, back to color, finally. In the distance you see Habanaka, Thrain encamped at Amdan. Cool. Let's go. One out of 10 of those quests. Oh, but there's a lot of things to learn. Man, there's a lot of quests in this area, apparently. There's a new Blood of Azzag Tab. That's gotta be the coolest name for a tab in this game. Blood of Azzag, man. Normally there's like a subtitle for the update, but this time they're just like, yeah, Blood of Azzag, let's do it. I'm surprised they didn't name it Azanulbizar. That would have also been just as cool. This almost looks like the Harvest Fest or whatever, Holiday Fest, Winter Fest, whatever. The Yuletide, so help me. The regular dwarf outfits are alright, I guess. Lots of gold in the armor. Definitely better time for dwarves. I'm sure I'll end up exploring over here anyway, but I kind of just want to look around, man. There are so many dwarves. Good gravy. It just keeps going. Oh look, we learned of an encampment. Of Zelruka. That looks pretty cool. I'm excited. This is a legit update. I was worried it wouldn't be. Here we go. Why are there two normal stable masters this close to each other? That's a great question. Great question. The other one goes to everywhere. Okay. I like the music too. Whoa. That's really cool. Alrighty then. That's awesome. Nick Vegan Pants, what's up? I am really enjoying this update so far. I'm loving the story. It's really cool. As you walk among the Iron Folk, you catch sight of your friend Dime. Alright, we should have a cosmetic thing, shouldn't we? To look like whoever we're supposed to be. We got a Starlit Crystal. There we go. I don't know where the cosmetic thing is at. Oh, it's after we complete this, okay. Nick Vegan Pants, thanks so much for the host. Melody, welcome, welcome. Nice to have you here as well. If you guys haven't already, we are doing a $50 Steam card giveaway. Make sure you're following the channel and type !Azog in chat for your chance to win. Hermath, my friend. I was beginning to think we lost you at the Great Way. Dine embraces you warmly. It is hard to believe that we are here at last. I have read the stories of old Azanulbizar, but none could describe it in such detail. It seems fitting that this war should end where it began, don't you think? And if what I have heard is true, we will not have to sit idle for much longer.
According to my father, King Thrain intends to call the other houses to council this evening.
The sons of the other kings and lords have been invited as well. So being the grandson of the Lord of the Iron Hills, so have I. You may not be of my blood, but you are my brother, Hamath. A great battle awaits us on the morrow, and we must prepare for it. Will you accompany me to the council?
What say you,
Council of
Hamath?
the Seven?
Will you join me?
Are these the seven dwarf, like the dwarf rings, the seven dwarves? Is that what this is? Is that what we're about to see? Because if so...
Beyond the foothills of Xiraxigil, the dwarves of the Habanaka at last glimpsed Azanulbizar. It lay barren and silent, but so too had it seemed to Thror when he met his end at the hands of Azzag. On the eve of battle, King Thrain called the kings of the seven houses to council at Andang.
Alright.
I think we're in luck, Hermath.
It doesn't sound like it's started yet, but we'd better hurry over. Come on. Owen and Glowin, best friends. We come to it at last. Too long has my father's shade awaited what the morrow brings. Too long has the defilement gone unanswered. Too long has the coward Azog hidden in our ancient home, his hands stained with noble blood. Too long, too long, too long, too long. And so he sent his sons to fight in his stead. There was Comog, who fell in the halls of Gundabad, and whose skull now adorns my banner. Then there were Uro, the eldest, whose hand was severed by my son, Farron. And then there was Bo, who fled from battle. The line of Azog is spent. For 9 long years he has eluded us, but no longer. Such a rousing speech is worthy of a cheer. Haha, yes. As the cheers fall quiet, Thrain begins ordering the Habalaka. A great battle awaits us at Azanulbizar. All will be ordered as I and the other kings of the 7 houses have resolved. Dorgar and Agni, you shall lead your warriors onto the slopes of Xiraxigil. Zakahar is overrun, and it must be reclaimed. Velat and Usk, your warriors must cross Kabalaka and climb the slopes of Bandoshatar. If the orcs hold the winding spire, none of our movements in the dale will go beneath their notice. Jurgen and Tamir shall aid the Landorim and Narfang Throth at Zakak Garhar. As for your keen-eyed scouts, let them learn what they might of Azog's designs. Shalim, you will send half your warriors to Atrak Zakar to bolster the Kambaronda and Zaruka. The rest will assemble along the outer edges of the dale. If any orcs mean to escape our wrath, the Abnashu will slay them to the last. What of you and your kin, Thrain? We will walk the great way proudly as our forebearers did. And we shall meet the orcs in battle from Andang to the very gates of Khazad-dûm. My sons and I will lead the vanguard, and the sons of Farin will march beside us. Not only the sons, but the father also. I will not sit by playing the dotard while the blades of others drink their fill. What of the Iron Hills? Surely we will not be kept idle. Not idle, cousin, but in reserve. The Iron Folk will answer the horn calls of the others, should any part of the battle turn wrongly. And if not? Will we simply sit by if our victory comes without woe? Apparently they all thought that was funny. Pray, cousin, when has that ever come to pass? Let those questions be answered on the morrow. For tonight, let us sleep while we may. For we shall not rest again until Azog is slain. Baruch Khazad! Khazad Imenu! For Thror! That is pretty awesome. Start and the others prepare to take rest. Dine beckons you over. They literally just... Why does this banner just have a boot? Like, how lame is your dwarf kingdom if you just got a boot, man? I mean, maybe it's cool and all, but it doesn't seem like it. Like the fine craftsmen, scholars, war, tree people, singed beards. Do they have a whole banner just for singed beards? If so, that's awesome. And then, of course, the good old dwarf axe. It's for kicking butt, yes. Oh, well that puts in a whole new perspective, McVegan Pets. Those helmets are so cool.
I hope my father did not think me imprudent in my concern. At the very least, I seem to have amused our elders and some of the kings.
They're really in defeat. They're in charge of exporting boots for everyone. Yeah. And you get a boot. And you get a boot. You all get a boot. I could tell he too was displeased that the Iron Folk would be held in reserve. But a dwarf of his station would not dare say as much. At the very least, I seem to have amused our elders and some of the kings. I fear we have a long day ahead of us on the morrow, my friend. Let us sleep while we might.
Rest well, friend. I shall see you in the morn.
Picked up 20 quests so far? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Gee willikers.
Ah, Hermoth. I did not sleep as well as I'd have liked, but I hope you got some rest.
You started at 30 to 45. Now at 53 to 55. Andang is all a bustle this morn, and it seems some of our cousins have already set out. I am eager to join the battle, but I will heed King Thrain's orders. Father made certain of that. We just got a ton of reputation. Alas, such are the disadvantages of being the grandson of the Lord of the Iron Hills. But you, my friend, I suspect you could pass along the others in the great Habalaka without a second glance, even with that hammer of yours. So we still don't have this one? Yeah, we still don't have that one. It'll be a while, I suspect. We're already to chapter 2, though. As we heard at the council last night, King Thrain has ordered the 7 houses to aid upon the fringes of the Dale. Among them, the Landorim, Narforgoth, and Tamarir have traveled to Zakazirhir on the slopes of Zerkzijul. Once it was reclaimed from the orcs, I fear they shall have to contend with the trolls we spied from afar. As for the Camorada, Zaruka, and Abnorzu, they have a harder path to take. If they can break through the orcish outpost blocking the way to Thrakak Zakur, they intend to claim Ashamar Zakhar and set siege to Astrad Zakhar, the old warding spire of Khazad-dûm. You know, as much as I love the dwarf plotlines, I can't wait till we have pronounceable names in non-dwarf plotlines. It is far too much indeed to ask any one of the 7 houses, but together we will triumph. By Durin's beard, Azog will not live to see the morrow. What do you say, Hamath? The journey will be long, but the hardship has not stopped us yet. Will you aid our kin and cousins at Hashamagathal? What do you say, my friend? It is not that far to the northwest, but it is too far for me to go beneath the notice of my father or grandfather Gore. Would you aid our kin and cousins at Zakar Zahar? Zergzijil. Zergzijil. Alright. I can pronounce things. Alright, well, when we return, we'll talk to a bunch more people, apparently get like 20 plus quests, and we'll get them all done. But that, of course, is not till next time. I'm very excited and super optimistic about this update. And the fact that this update seems to be good has me really optimistic about the future of LOTRO, in particular Gundabad. I think a lot of players after the most recent update were not so sure about LOTRO anymore, especially with War of the Three Peaks and the most recent update. But man, this one is looking super good. I do wish it didn't cost the 1,600 LOTRO points. That's definitely a downside. But in general, this thing seems pretty cool. Anyway, if you guys haven't already, exclamation Azog in chat to get entered to win that $50 Steam card. Make sure you're following as well. Anyway, let's go find a LOTRO channel. Reiko, thanks so much for the follow. Let's go find a LOTRO channel to raid here.